My name is LaShawn Adams, and this is my report on leisure lifestyle through history, the Aegean civilization, and I will be focusing on the Minoans and the Mycenaeans of that era. We're going to begin by looking at the introduction to the Aegean civilization and that time period. And the Aegean civilization time period was between 3000 to 1000 BCE. And this era had two groups, which were the Mycenaeans and the Minoans. The Mycenaeans were around 1700 to 1100 BCE, and they resided on the Greek mainlands. And the Minoans were around 2000 to 1450 BCE, and they were predominantly located on Crete. And that was really the distinction between the two groups, was basically their geographical locations. And Crete and the surrounding islands had access to the seas, and much of the civilization's economy was based on trade, which greatly influenced their lifestyle and their leisure activities. Leisure activities in the Aegean civilization often varied between men, women, and children. For men, in regards to social and political life, they often participated in activities that enhanced their status, especially men of elite statuses. These activities included feasts, public performances, or athletic competitions. And just like with today's men, the Mycenaeans and the Minoans participated in various sports, including bull leaping, which was very prominent with the Minoan men. Bull leaping involved grasping a bull by one horn and leaping over its back. It was an activity that is likely said to have had ritualistic and social significance. Men took part in music and dance as well, which were prominent parts of religious ceremonies and festivals. They played instruments like the lyre and the double flute. And I like to describe the lyre as a mixture of a harp and a guitar, but it gives off a very smooth melodic sound. In contrast to the men, women's leisure was different. Women's leisure time was generally centered around domestic duties such as weaving, pottery, and managing the household. However, they also participated in social and religious activities. During religious festivals, women had important roles in religious rituals and ceremonies, and some which involved music, dance, and communal feasting. Festivals like those honored gods such as Poseidon and Athena, etc., and they were central to the culture. They were also engaged in arts and crafts, creating pottery, weaving, and other crafts. These were not only functional but also decorative, reflecting the aesthetic taste of the time and era. Children learn through play, and that saying couldn't be more true during the Aegean civilization. Children likely spent time playing and learning practical skills for adulthood, such as pottery and weaving, and engaging in storytelling or games. Their lives were also heavily influenced by the family structure, where both boys and girls were expected to contribute to household activities. Children likely played physical games similar to those of the adults. There's evidence of miniatures of bull leaping figures, suggesting that children might have practiced or mimicked such sports. They played in areas called palestras, which was an open area. They also played piggyback games, astrokinos, and juggled. And astrokinos is what we call in our modern day time tag. One of the more important things that the Aegean civilization did was honor their gods. And the Aegean people held various festivals to honor their gods, which included feasts, music, dance, and athletic competitions. The Minoans, for example, they celebrated festivals in honor of deities like Mother Goddess and Poseidon. Feasts were very common in both religious and social gatherings, with food and drinks such as wine and olive oil playing a central role. These events provided an opportunity for the community to come together, celebrate, and to reinforce their social bonds with each other. Over the years and through the decades, clothing and appearances have evolved. Minoans wore elaborate clothing made of linen and wool. Men wore kilts or loincloths, while women wore flowing robes or skirts with intricate patterns. The fashion also reflected their culture and religious beliefs with adornments such as jewelry. The Mycenaeans, however, wore simpler attire, but their clothing still showed a sense of status. Men might have worn tunics, while women wore long dresses with embroidered edges. Their clothing was often practical for both daily activities and more formal occasions. Lastly, we're going to look into the value of leisure in the Aegean civilization. And during that time period, there was a high importance on rituals and aesthetics. And leisure in the Aegean civilization wasn't only about relaxation, it had ritual significance, particularly in religious and cultural contexts. Participation in leisure activities was often a way of connecting with the divine and celebrating important life events. And there was also communal leisure. And community events like festivals, music, and athletic contests were a way of reinforcing social bonds. And these gatherings helped to maintain the cultural fabric of the Aegean society and provided opportunities for both entertainment and worship. We look at leisure activities in today's society as a means to relax and to unwind. But as you can see, in the Aegean culture, they were deeply connected to their social structure, religion, and community. I also want to reiterate that for the Aegeans, leisure was not about relaxation, but it was a means of socializing, celebrating, and honoring their gods. Thank you for listening.